Hello, my name is Travis with Ohio EPA, and today I will go over the online closeout for the Recycle Ohio grant program. Before we begin, I recommend reviewing the grant manual you provided during the mandatory grant webinar. If you do not have the grant manual, please reach out to the recycling team. There are lots of good information to help you submit your closeout report. The grant manual updates each year. We highly recommend reviewing this manual before starting your grant projects to ensure you're complying with the most recent grant guidelines. You'll see what information you need to collect for your final budget table and the required attachments that you will need to submit, as well as any data and all the questions you'll be asked to provide. This includes the data found in the online closeout report, which project categories and applicant types, and which types of questions. For example, the cleanup event table is the only table asked for litter cleanup events and scrap tire amnesty events. Make sure you look through all these so you know what information you need to track as you complete your grant project. At the bottom, there are additional narrative type questions that our grantees will be asked in the final closeout report. Again, they're all listed here, which project categories and which applicant types for those questions and how they will be asked. While working through your grant project, we recommend tracking all of your grant-related expenditures. Each grant has a custom Excel budget table that was provided with your grant documentation. Likewise, if this is something that you're missing, please reach out to our recycling team. To demonstrate, I will walk through a test application and closeout. This example is for a combination community and litter grant for a government entity. This example is illustrative and will not capture everything within the community and litter grant, nor will it cover everything under our other 4 grant types. This video is just a guide, and please follow the screens and prompts of the closeout portal. As always, for issues and questions, please reach out to the recycling team. A budget template featured automatically calculates what your match should be based on your project total and will update for any invoices you input. This mostly impacts the projects with a 25% required match. Grants that have 100% are split 50-50, and those with no match requirements will have no calculations. The match will always be the same as the grant reward. For those with 25% match, this will help you make those calculations. As you enter the items, it will tell you up here what your total is. The budget table does not know where to cap out your grant award, so it can't spend more than what the grant funds were allowed. Whenever you go above and beyond your grant reward, your total project does not calculate to exceed past your estimate. Once you have this completed, your grant expenditures are finalized, and your paperwork is put together, it is time to submit your online closeout report. To find the closeout report portal, start at our agency's website, epa.ohio.gov or epa.ohio.gov. Then scroll to the bottom, and you will find a button for our Resource Hub and click Go Now. Once at the Resource Hub, click in the upper right to log in or sign up button. You will use the same username and password when you submitted your grant application. If you forgot your username or password, there are prompts here to help you recover your username or reset your password. The grant can only be assigned to one account at a time. For projects with government sponsors or those who have had a personnel change, the grant might be assigned to someone else's account. So if this is the case, please once again reach out to the Recycle Ohio team. Once you log in, it will take you back to the Resource Hub. Go back to the upper right and click on the same button with your username. This will bring up a drop down and click on the My Ohio EPA Resource Hub submittals. The first listing is for recent submittals. This lists submittals to Ohio EPA through the Resource Hub. This could be past Recycle Ohio grant cycles or grants from other Ohio EPA grant programs. Scroll down to the second list under Submit a Report to Ohio EPA. This list contains all active grants assigned to your account and available for closeout. Find which report you need to work on, and for the majority of grantees, you'll only have one option listed. Under the Action column, click Work on Closeout Report to launch the closeout portal. The first page has instructions on how to navigate the portal. Here you should see your organization's name. This functions the same way as the grant application, and you can navigate with the next and back buttons or by clicking the headers on the top. Start by clicking the next button, which takes you to the next screen on preparing your attachments. Instructions list the requirements for these attachments. Reminder, just like with the application, attachments are limited to 10 megabytes. You need to have your grant invoices and proof of payments. If they're in paper, you will need to scan them and have those saved for you to upload. You can also combine them together into one PDF. The first required attachment is the raw closeout budget template, which we just covered. If you need a copy of the template, you can also download that here. But reminder, this is just a general budget template and not the custom one to your application. For projects that purchase equipment in full or in partial with grant funds that are over $300, we have a equipment document that you need to fill out. This document has multiple line items, which you'll need to fill out for each piece of equipment. This includes type, model, model year, model number, when you received it, any serial or identification numbers, and where the equipment is located. And the total amount you spent and how much that grants and how much of those dollars were grant dollars and match dollars. For our grants with government sponsors, the Cooperating Enterprise, which is the business sponsor from the grant, is required to complete the online grant closeout report. This person is different than the one who submitted the grant application, so this application will most likely need reassigned. Please reach out. We require the government sponsor to fill out a form certifying the milestones have been met with the project to make it eligible for closeout. This includes verifying the equipment has been purchased and installed, visiting the site, double-checking all paperwork, and authorizing the Cooperating Enterprise to submit this online closeout. Once this form is filled out and signed by the government sponsor, it will also be uploaded as an attachment. So along with the 10 megabyte restriction per attachment, there's also a exceedance of 100 megabytes total for all attachments. If you run into issues with size limitations, please reach out by email and we can figure out a way to get you to send in the additional documentation. If your application did purchase any sort of advertising with grant funds, you will certify that here, and by clicking yes. If you have not done so, you will certify by clicking no, and then by clicking next. Once again, this is just a list of the different types of attachments and resources that you will need to include in your closeout report. And here's the contact information for the recycling team if you should need to reach out to us. So we will certify that we have completed all of our grant expenditures and hit next. This will just be your contact information for who is filling it out. That will pre-populate based on who is filling this out, also on your account information. And so next is just the budget table of all the different expenses you've spent. So we're going to go ahead and put in here that I've spent the total amount of funds. So next I've spent the budget funds. And this will balance out. If you do have any other differences, this will calculate based on what you have. So once you have those numbers, you'll do that. And then next, these are the material summary tables. You will fill these out in the narrative questions as you go along with all of your pertinent information. Once all the data tables have been filled out and the narrative questions are answered, you will come to the review draft screen. Here you're able to save a draft of all the information you've submitted so far. We do recommend that you're reviewing all that to make sure all the information is captured correctly and accurately. Once you have done that, you will click this button to certify that you've reviewed the draft and it is complete and correct. So the next section is the attachment screen. As mentioned earlier, we recommend having all your documents ready because it really helps with this step. So this is where you upload your documents. First is a budget spreadsheet. Click here, it will bring up the document folder. So then you need to find your document. And double click, and then it'll add it to here. So yes, we need to certify that it is attached. So next we need our grant related invoices and proof of payments. Just like before, you click add, go to the same spot. So here I'm going to add, these are my 3 documents. So I'm going to add the first one, then add the second one, and then add the third one. And so then here I will also certify that all invoices and proof of payments are attached. And then we have the option to add additional documents. First I'm going to add, we have an example of a piece of advertising that we did for the project. And then next we're going to add some pictures. So we really love pictures of your grant project, so we highly recommend you include those here under additional documents. So I'll go ahead and add the 2 that I have here. You do not need to certify anything for the additional documents, but once again, we highly encourage any sort of photos. And a reminder, if you are purchasing equipment, you will also have to submit the equipment summary form mentioned earlier that you can also get from us from our website, recycleohio.gov. So then we will go ahead and hit next. The system will let you know if you forgot to fill something out or if there's a section missing. As mentioned earlier, you must put at least a 0 in all columns or otherwise it will not accept your submittal. You can click here to be notified on what the issue is so you can rectify. It actually shows I have an issue. So then I will go back, make these changes, and that should then allow me to submit. So once you rectify any missing information, you will be then taken to the signature page. So here it will have the list of who you are, that you need to certify that you're authorized to submit this closeout. You need to consent that you're able to sign electronically. Then you'll go ahead and sign. And you'll go ahead and put your printed name, which I'll just let you type out that. And you go ahead and put your title. And then you'll go ahead and click next. So once again, there'll be some final instructions here, letting you know that this is kind of your last chance to make any sort of edits, reviews, or any other changes to your data. If you are content that everything is good and ready, go ahead and hit yes, and then click next. They'll ask you one last time, and you'll hit submit final form. And that's it. So here you will get a submittal confirmation form. You can download this here for your records. You will also receive an email confirmation to your email, also with this information as well. And then we will review these documentations, and then we'll follow up in the next couple of weeks with any other questions or concerns. So that covers how to do a online closeout for the Recycle Ohio grant program. Once again, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to the recycling team. Thank you.